Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, Newark native Syl Basil's Pay It Forward mindset is being honored by the Columbian Foundation at their upcoming annual gala, and we'll learn more. We also have Trinette Norris, the founder of the Snowflake Foundation, about how she's helping foster children around the Garden State. But first, Buddy Fortunato will tell us about his long and illustrious career with the Italian Tribune of West Orange, the largest Italian-American newspaper in the United States. Here to tell us more is Buddy. Welcome to the show.
It is a tremendous, after what we've been through, it's a tremendous honor for me to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us about the long, amazing history of the Italian Tribune, because you really set the standard of Italian-American culture here in the Garden State for decades.
It had started as a neighborhood publication in the city of Newark. And as my father-in-law, who was a member of the White House Press Corps, as a photographer, he had a dream that one day he would own the Italian Tribune and make it into a real publication. He purchased the paper in 1968, and he is really responsible for that initial growth, because the Italian Tribune grew from a 4-page publication to a legitimate weekly publication. The Italian Tribune has never missed a week of publication. And so around 1990, I got involved in the Italian Tribune. And the first thing we did was take the paper to New York. And today, we have more papers in New York than we do in New Jersey. So the Italian Tribune tries to be a voice, tries to be informative, and we try to convey what's going on in Italy so that people would be able to relate to that.
How does the Italian Tribune engage with the local Italian-American community here in New Jersey?
Given our staff and given the fact that we've been around almost 100 years, we've been able to create the relationships. And I'm a big believer in relationships, because it's relationships that really enable success between various parties. If you can sit down and accomplish through those relationships, then you're able to deliver a product. So I'm pretty proud of the relationship that we have with the community and as a publication.
Another way you engage with the community, besides your print publication, is your annual gala. Tell us all about it.
We ran a Columbus parade in Newark on Bloomfield Avenue. My father-in-law, when he purchased the paper, moved the parade from downtown Newark to the Italian section, the North Ward of Newark. Last year, we recognized the newest New York Yankee, Anthony Volpe, who was a New Jersey product from a wonderful family. And at that dinner, we honor Italian Americans who have made a contribution to the community and for their fellow Italian American, something that people can be proud of. We honor educators, we honor people of business who participate in the communities. And when you look at the honorees over the years, we have really recognized people who all Italian Americans can be proud of.
You mentioned Anthony Volpe, and I echo everything you say about the young man and his family, and I'm rooting for him so hard to do great things with the New York Yankees. But How do you plan on engaging young Italian Americans like Anthony with your newspaper in this ever changing media climate?
Well, we try to relate to the circumstances that the younger generation that you referred to has a concern with. So whether it be the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, or the 40-year-olds, we are trying to relate to the people who still have, who are still aware of their Italian heritage. I had always said to my father-in-law that the major newspapers are not our competition. Our competition is not the New York Times or the New York Star Ledger or the New York Post. Our competition that we had to worry about, our concern, is the Italian American becoming Americanized. And and what we've tried to do is keep our heritage before them and educate them and teach them the contribution the Italian Americans made to this country. Just last night, I referred to the fact that it was an Italian who was friends with Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, and Thomas Jefferson, who was really responsible for the wording, the key components of the Declaration of Independence. Filippo Mazzei, and he was made a tremendous contribution. Well, a lot of people are not aware of that. That's unfortunately not taught in our school system. So we try to teach that through the publication, through the Tribune, through um, situations like last night and like today, speaking before the public, so we can continue to make our heritage relevant and of a concern to the Italian Americans who may be becoming Americanized.
Who are some of the up and coming Italian Americans in New Jersey that excites you?
I think that there are some educators that are also worthy of that recognition. So I think that sometimes we overlook the average day Italian American for those who are developing a reputation. Um, but there are others that we can be very, very proud of. And we do that, we show that every year at our dinner, where we attract about 600 to 700 people. The tradition is that we are the Friday before Columbus Day. And we try not to interfere with New York's parade because many of the groups would not be able, the Italian American organizations would not be able to participate in our event if we were competing in any way with that event, which is so well done and something that we can be very proud of.
Well, before we wrap here, I would love to give you just a really quick testimonial. Back in 2010, the Italian Tribune did a story on me as a new business owner. It was, I guess, Italian American women in business. And you had a writer on staff that knew me, got me in the paper, and that's how I got to meet our dear mutual friend, John Pascarosa, who got me involved in the Morris County Columbus Day Parade. And it was my first big client, starting my production company, and we've been together ever since. And that never would have happened if it wasn't for you and your publication.
Well, that's very kind of you to say that. But there again, we take an interest in promoting that younger generation and that element of our Italian American population, I am very hesitant personally to accept any awards. It's not my job to accept awards. It's my job here at the Tribune to project you and to project the Italian American people. That's my job. But I appreciate your kind words and thank you. You should be very proud because you have distinguished yourself and have done a great job.
If people of Italian American descent are interested in pitching you a story or subscribing to the paper, how can they get in touch with you?
They can call the Italian Tribune. The phone number for the Italian Tribune is 973-860-0101. The paper is subscribed for. It's a subscription paper. They will receive it on a weekly basis through the mail.
Great. Well, Buddy, thank you so much for coming on here during Italian American Heritage Month and for all you're doing for the culture.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing the Italian Tribune. Thank you.
Syl Basile is a New Jersey success story that's going to be honored at the 81st Annual Columbian Foundation Gala happening on September 30th at the Westmount Country Club. He's here now to tell us more about his life of service. Syl, welcome to the show.
Hi, Lee. Doing well, thank you.
So I cannot wait to dive into your story. I know that you were born in Newark, New Jersey, and that fueled your success. Tell us how.
Born from a down neck Newark, single mother. My father passed when I was 3, but I had that great Italian family. Ferry Street in Newark. Used to eat dinner every night with my first cousins, aunts, uncles. So we had a very strong family background. And where I am today and able to do some of the philanthropic work that I do, it's been a blessing. This country and this Italian heritage that we have, I just love it.
Talk more in depth about your philanthropic work.
It's a very noble idea, but no one's going to bring homeless people into their house with their families that they don't know. But I'll tell you what, why don't or we start a homeless house? So what my idea was, I purchased a house in Elizabeth, a 3-family house. And I said, this is how it's going to work. We're going to get a social worker couple to live in the middle floor. And this place was for mothers, homeless mothers with children. And it's going to be a respite place. It's going to be a place where you come in to get yourself on your feet, find work, and move on. And became a great success story. Actually, the Elizabeth Coalition for the Homeless, I donated the house to them. They took it over. And while I'm talking about me, the most important person in a lot of this philanthropic work is my wife, Muffy. I kind of had the ideas, but she did all the legwork. So there's a movie which I'm sure a lot of your viewers would know about called Blind Side. And the parallels are incredible. We're at Thanksgiving one day, and Michael brings home this gentleman, Reggie. He's a football player in high school. Tough past, lot of moving around through different homeless places, lost his parents. So he comes in on Thanksgiving with all these Italian people. And one of the proudest things in my life is we took him in, mentored him, put him through college. This was back in 2006. And now he's got his degree, moved out to California. I became his best man for his wedding. And the rest is a really nice story.
And you mentioned at the start of this segment how proud you are of your Italian American culture. That's what the Columbian Foundation is all about, celebrating that heritage. So just talk about how special it is to be honored by an organization that aligns with you so greatly.
I get to go to Italy 3 or three or 4 weeks a year. Met up. My family is from Frosinone, Italy, and Silverio, a rather unusual name, is the patron saint of Frosinone.
Besides your philanthropic work, you've also been such a success in business too. Talk about that aspect of your life.
Tough growing up in the city, but I had great guidance. Went to Seton Hall Prep. The priests there and the guidance from the character that they built. I really give them a lot of credit for my success in going on to college and then working on Wall Street for about 20 years, and then after that started my own family hedge fund. My boys are all in it with me, and that's where I was able to have a successful business life and move on from there. I always told my kids that they want to do something, and I said, sometimes it's great being in the food line, but if you could be success and be the impetus to start organizations, sometimes that helps a lot more people, and that's what we strive to do.
You also strike me as somebody who's very humble. And you are about to be honored in front of 300 people plus at this Columbian Foundation Gala. What was your reaction when your good friend Ray Salerno asked you to be this year's honoree?
It's an honor that people would think of the things that I do, because yes, a lot of the things that I've done have been anonymous. Because Ray, being a good friend, though, he knows more of the story than most people, and he kind of talked me into it, and I said yes.
Sil, this was so much fun. Congratulations on all of your success. I look forward to meeting you in person on September 30th. It'll be a great night.
All right, you owe me a dance, okay?
Yes, you got
Okay.
it.
Good deal.
Thank you. Thank you, Sil.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Trinette Norris has an amazing tragedy to triumph life story, and she wants to give this opportunity to more children transitioning out of the foster system, just as she did. The founder and CEO of the Snowflake Foundation, Trinette, is here to tell us more. Trinette, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. How are you today?
I am doing well, and I cannot wait for our viewers to hear what an inspiration you are. Start at the beginning of your story.
Absolutely. So I would like to let everyone know that I'm the oldest of 7. So me and my little brothers and sisters, we actually grew up in foster care. I've lived in hundreds of foster homes. I've lived in over 500 foster homes, actually. And I understand firsthand the struggle that lies ahead for foster children. What I want to do with the Snowflake Foundation is I want to show foster children the resources that they have available to them. I want to work with the city and the state to allow these children the resources and the individual attention they need so that they can thrive and be successful. One of the things that I did when I was in foster care was I actually took advantage of the system. I signed up for college as a ward of the state, and I was granted every single dollar that I asked for, in not only scholarships, but in grants and in money that is given to foster children in wards of the state. And a lot of foster children don't know this. And so I want to be able to open up that platform of information for foster children so that they can also have that direction that is supposed to be given to them.
Did you say that you grew up in 500 different foster homes?
Yes, I did. I have, yes.
I mean, I can't imagine the emotional and mental toll that must have taken on you, but how did you lift yourself up to even, frankly, want to go to college and improve yourself?
One of the things was being the oldest of 7. I'm a natural born leader for my little brothers and sisters. I strive to be a good role model, not only to my little brothers and sisters, but to all children. And one of the things that I want to do with my journey is show these children that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter, all the things that you've been through, all the obstacles that you've had to overcome, as long as you're here today, you can absolutely make a plan for the future. I want to be a leading role model and example for foster children, that it doesn't matter if you went through foster care and if you had a hard childhood, that you could still thrive, you could still succeed, and you could still make it. I want to be that, that thriving, driving force for foster children and misplaced children, to show them that it doesn't matter where you come from. It just matters, where you believe you can go and what you believe you can achieve. And I want to encourage that spark in children, and encourage that, in every child, not just in foster children.
You mentioned how you worked the system and you applied for every grant and opportunity available to you. How did you know about those opportunities? Did you have a mentor along the way?
Actually, I didn't necessarily have a mentor, but there is a program that a lot of foster children should be aware of, and it's called Independent Living. One of the educational vouchers that I signed up for is called the ETV, the Educational Training Voucher. And if you don't know about that, you have to actually sign up for the Independent Living classes. You go once a month, and usually whatever county that's your responsibility, or a county of responsibility, they assign you a counselor in your current county, and that counselor comes and picks you up once a month. It's usually like the second Wednesday of every month, and you have these 1-hour meetings, and what they do is they teach you how to live independently. I remember some of my sessions being as simple as how to budget, having laundry expenses as well as grocery expenses, and being on a fixed budget, and how you would manage certain expenses. And so it just really shows you how to independently make certain decisions that will affect you when you get out on your own. And that's one of the programs that really, really helped me, was the Independent Living program.
How do you connect the Snowflake Foundation to foster children around New Jersey?
So one of the things that I want to do is I want to work with the local city officials. I have been pairing up with the local mayors. Shout out to the mayors of Essex. I got to meet all of the mayors at Essex at this past meeting of the mayors. And so that was very exciting to be able to talk about the Snowflake Foundation, not only on a city level, but how it can also reach that state level and that federal level, because the Snowflake Foundation, my goal is to make it a global initiative.
And it's so important because there's so many children that are displaced, and as a mother, it's just so heartbreaking to see. But the Snowflake Foundation is not your first business. You actually have multiple ones, which is so amazing. You amaze me like by the minute here with this interview. Tell us about your other entrepreneurial journeys.
Absolutely. So the Snowflake Foundation is actually my first 501c3 transitional foster home. It's my first 501c3, but it is not my first business that I've started. My first business that I've ever started was a vending machine business. It was based out of Mississippi, based out of Tupelo, Mississippi. The vending machine business, the reason why I named it Snacktacular is because you don't just snack, you snacktacular. And if you go to Mississippi, you actually might still hear some of my recordings on the radio station. I actually work for the radio station. It's now owned by iHeartMedia. Another thing that I'm working on, I'm currently working on my children's book. So stay tuned for my children's book. It's called The Fallen Snowflake. It's going to be one of my initiatives to fund the Snowflake Foundation Incorporation. So I'm really excited about these things, and I really don't see myself slowing down. I think I have a couple more businesses up my sleeve, so stay tuned.
Wow, that is so amazing. Let's touch on the children's book, though, The Fallen Snowflake. What's it about?
The moral of the whole book is going to be how children overcome obstacles, and how going through things doesn't only make you stronger, but it makes you wiser in different journeys of your life, and how things that are sometimes hard to overcome could be really, really good for you in the long run, because you learn so much, and you learn so much about yourself. And so this Fallen Snowflake is going to be one of the initiatives where the proceeds will go to the Snowflake Foundation to help fund that idea. And so I'm really excited. I think children are really going to love this book.
Not only are you so imaginative with your businesses, but the names you give it, Snacktacular, even the Snowflake Foundation. What is the meaning behind that?
So the reason why I named it the Snowflake Foundation is because just like snowflakes, there are no two foster children the same. They all deserve individual love, attention, direction, and resources so that they can thrive and be successful.
You have a ton going on. Congratulations on all of your success, and there's much more to come. Where can people find out more about you and to keep up with all you're doing?
So you definitely can find me on my social media platforms. You can find me on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure that you have all of my information at the end of this interview. You could find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok.
Trinette, you are just such a beautiful soul. Congratulations to you, and looking forward to what you have coming up next. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.